Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.
And welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right.
I'm Marlene Cuellar.
And I'm Gavin Courtney.
And thank you for joining us this morning.
And the sun just came out this morning, at least up here in the city.
Rain in March. What is going on?
I know. It's been, a pretty wet 2 days or 2 or 3 days so far. So yeah, I'm hoping that when we get our weather update, we're going to get some good news. But for right now, at least the sun is shining.
Yeah. Well, I think that I always welcome a cold front, but I haven't missed for a moment that this is really out of the norm in terms of the patterns that we're used to. And I hope it's not indicative of the rest of the year where we just have kind of schizophrenic weather.
Yes, I know. And I'm already thinking that, based on how things have been going so far, especially considering last week and this week. Last week we had a few showers, but it was also really hot. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, it's a bit too early in the year for this type of weather. You can save that for June and July. But of course, we will get our weather update a little bit later. And there is a lot to talk about in the meantime. A lot has been going on. Of course, the biggest news that has been discussed locally is still the leadership election, which took place in the United Democratic Party on Sunday, in which Shyne Barrow won, or the Honorable Shyne Barrow, I should say, won leadership of the United Democratic Party. And of course, we had, and it was a very tightly contested leadership race between him and Honorable Tracy Tagar-Panton, who was in our studio yesterday, gave us a breakdown of the weekend's events from her perspective, and her reflections, and of course some of what is going to be happening in the future for her and for the party.
Yeah, that's right. I think, and we're going to be talking with Honorable Shyne Barrow this morning to get his perspective. I guess he's had a day to let it sink in. It really has been an interesting course of ascension for him. When you consider how he got to this point, from looking at his first foray into electoral politics, even though he comes from a strong political family background, and then taking up the post of the leader of the opposition in Parliament, and then officially now winning his spot as the leader of the United Democratic Party, carrying on the legacy of his father.
Yes, absolutely. And of course, there have been several internal issues within the United Democratic Party over the past few months. And I think the hope is right now that perhaps with a leadership convention, there's perhaps a new chance to rally around a new leader or a new center of focus, so that some of the party can move forward, and some of those issues can be fixed.
Yeah. And it's all been tight races. Let's look at this. When there was the Faber versus Saldivar leadership convention, that was a tight race.
Yep.
The first one when Saldivar was successful. And then you had the backlash of the Durham scandal, and then you had another leadership convention, then you had the recall vote. And now we have this leadership convention. I do hope that they will now bury these issues and find a way to move forward. It was a tight race.
Yes.
I always think of those things. And it resonates for a while and then we forget. But there are a number of tight races that we've seen in politics, sometimes by 1 or less than 10. Those are the ones that you start to think, man, if I just brought one more person out. In this case, there were, I think, about 7 people who didn't vote. So more than enough to have been able to sway or give a more comfortable win to to Honorable Shyne Barrow. So, but you'll never know. It's done, and as Honorable Panton said yesterday, she has absolutely no intention of taking the matter to court for the recount. She disclosed to us yesterday that the issue of discrepancy that they saw, which is why they wanted a recount, was because in one of the ballot boxes, they counted more ballots than voters for that box. Now, that's a discrepancy that they said, she said here on the show that they noted, and that was part of the reason they wanted the recount. But when it was refused by the party chairman, she has accepted that she will just accept the results.
Yes, and of course, I think this is part of what I mentioned earlier in that this new leadership, where the leadership election and the results are a chance perhaps to unify.
Yeah.
And I think that perhaps that's what we're seeing here so far. And it was a democratic process, and it was followed. Mm-hmm. And so by majority, the Honorable Shyne Barrow is now the leader of the United Democratic Party, as well as the leader of the opposition in the House of Representatives.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to talk to him more about what his plans are now that he's officially confirmed as leader of the party and leader of the opposition. I think the most crucial question is how he plans to unite the party.
Yep.
It is clearly fractured, and there's a lot of work to be done.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's one of the stories. I think also when you look at some of the other stories that are coming out, I do want to take a note to just mention something positive. Mm-hmm. Our own Miss Earth, Miss Belize, who's also globally Miss Earth, was featured on Harper Bazaar magazine, front cover. A really wonderful accomplishment for her personally, but also as a representative of Belize who represented us in Miss Earth. Harper Bazaar is a huge fashion magazine, and there's Destiny with showcased on the cover itself, and it really was wonderful to see, a proud moment for all of us.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I saw that as well, and then some of not only the cover but some of the shots that were from the photo shoot that she did were also released on the internet, and Destiny shared some on her Instagram page as well. Mm-hmm. She's quite active on social media. And of course, like Marlene, I agree, I was very proud when I saw the images. Of course, as a Belizean, to achieve such a milestone is really, really amazing. And I was, I was amazed when I saw the pictures as well. So yeah, it was definitely, it's a huge accomplishment as well. And I think that we can all feel proud. Mm-hmm. We've been, I think, last week on the show as well, I spoke on trending topics about Georgia's accomplishment as well with Rihanna, and so I think that we're seeing that we're making waves maybe in the fashion world here in Belize.
We do have a lot of beautiful women, I gotta say that much. And I think Georgia is a great example as well of someone who, I mean, when you talk about self-made, you're talking about her in the south of Belize just kind of posting on Instagram and making it now to the point that she's a face for some of these global makeup and beauty brands.
And actually, Destiny's from the south as well.
PG, yeah.
So yeah, I guess it's something about PG that.
Definitely proud of them taking a moment to be able to say that, giving you some nice positive moves as we start to round off the end of this month. There is, of course, yesterday I know Paul gave us notice that April Fool's is coming up.
True.
Mm-hmm. Are you much of an April Fool's
prankster? Or like, well, I try to be, but it never really works out. I don't put enough thought into some of my jokes or gags, but I would.
I think you should be warned of the fake pregnancy announcements, fake engagements,
and
all these things.
And I get fooled a lot. So, and then I have to remember, what day it is. But it does. I get tricked often by those things. So I'm not good either way.
Yeah. And, one other thing I know that I saw last night in the newscast that's really critical to mention is that BERT ambulance is asking for donations. We did a story last week talking about how gas prices have been, how the rise in gas prices has been influencing some of the work of NGOs, and BERT ambulance included. And when you consider the amount of time they spend driving around, having to race to people in the midst of an emergency, or even some of, I think they looked at some of the fisheries NGOs as well. But they have had some challenges with that. They've gotten some help from government, but of course it still is very much a challenge for them to be continuously sustained. So they are looking for donations, and I think, where money is tight for a lot of people, some people do have a little bit extra to spare, and it definitely is a place that it is a worthwhile investment. I mean, Gavin, there are people who resist from calling BERT because they can't find that $20 or $25 to pay for the run to be able to get them to a hospital, get their loved one to a hospital. So providing some assistance there is definitely something that we encourage people to do if you can afford it.
Absolutely, we encourage everyone to show their support in any way they can. It is, of course, an essential service, a life-saving service in several cases. So it's important that they be able to do the very important work that they do. So if you are in a position to donate, anything counts. It could possibly save a life or many. So we definitely encourage you to support the initiative in any way you can. And if you are not able to perhaps donate in money, you can always contact and see if there's any other way you can support them and their team. Of course, the individuals working in BERT and all of our healthcare workers as well have been under tremendous strain over the past few years. So I'm sure they would appreciate any show of support. Of course, that's once again BERT. They are looking for donations to help them with their work. They've been affected by several issues. So if you can go out and donate, please do. Be much appreciated.
All right. And just lastly for me, I quite enjoyed tuning into the state funeral for Belizean author Zee Edgell. Her official funeral was held yesterday in Belize City at the House of Culture, where her family got the opportunity to give her an official send-off. And given her contribution to this country, she was sent off with a state funeral.
Absolutely. Zee Edgell, of course, is a stalwart figure in Belizean literature. Of course, she is most famously known for her novel Bekalam, which, like many of us had. Yes, we had to read it in high school.
How come we don't have many Belizeans named Toisi? That means they're not reading Bekalam as much, right?
Or maybe it's because of Bekalam, like it made such an impression. Nobody.
Becca.
Yeah. But of course, like many of us had to read it at some level of school, whether in high school or sixth form. So we're all very familiar with the name, with Bekalam. Of course, Zee Edgell has contributed a lot, apart from Bekalam as well.
Yes.
And she has been doing a lot as well to, keeping the theme of Belizeans who gain international accord. Or acclaim, sorry.
Yeah.
So she, from a very long time ago, has been putting Belize on the map, so so to speak, in literary circles. So it was good to see that we did put on a tribute to her legacy.
Yeah, and as you see in some of those clips, she always found the time to be able to meet with students and with other authors, encouraging them. I think Belizeans who have been trailblazers, we don't talk about them enough. And when you think of sometimes we are, it's different now because the internet really has opened up opportunities. But if you consider there was a time that to be able to kind of get one name or one accomplishment beyond the borders of Belize was so hard. and also required such persistence
Yeah.
to be able to make it through. So, and of course, quality work, which we know we have because we have many talented people here.
For sure.
So I think when you look back at the accomplishments, you have to be able to acknowledge just what that meant for aspiring writers in Belize and the potential that we could be able to tap into.
Yes, and you know, I was thinking as you were saying that was last week on our show. I believe it was on Friday, maybe Thursday. We had we did. I wasn't there that day, so
Okay.
but we did have some aspiring, or we had the event print press who was announcing the launch of one of their publications, and it really made me think about, you know, just thinking of the legacy of of starting with Zee Edgell and authors of her time, you know, sort of inspiring other Belizeans to be able to express themselves creatively. In this case, it's literature. But, you know, if there were no Zee Edgell, there would probably be no, there would probably be no other, something like the Benton Press where we have local authors being able to publish their work, and really explore Belizean subjects too as well, because that's another important aspect of Zee Edgell's work.
Yeah. All right. So those are some of the stories that are buzzing from last night, and we got to get moving into our show for today. We are going to get you started with some motivation, and that comes from dailyom.com. Life energy flows through us like a swift stream when there is nothing to obstruct it. Our physical and ethereal selves depend on the unrestricted flow of life energy that is the source of wholeness and wellness. Though the channels through which this energy flows are open systems and influenced by factors outside of our control, we ultimately choose what impact these will have in our lives. A healthy, grounded individual absorbs some portion of the energy emitted by other people and the environment. But this does not interrupt the continuous stream of balanced energy sustaining them. The same individual copes constructively with stress and upset, and they're not subject to the stagnation that frequently goes hand in hand with negativity. Your awareness of the flow of energy sustaining you empowers you to take charge of your own well-being by taking steps to unblock, correct, and enhance the flow. Fear will likely be the culprit when you cannot identify the source of stagnation. You may simply be afraid to let go of what is obstructing the flow. Letting go can be challenging, but the exuberance you will feel when the flow is restored will be a welcome and blessed reward.
I like that eye opener a lot.
There you go.
You know, I like the flow, because I'm always talking on the show about how I do yoga, so I'm very familiar with flows.
Yeah.
But it also made me think of another thing, speaking of energy, and if you learn in school or whatever about, the laws of physics, and they say that one of them is that energy can't be created or destroyed, it's only transferred to a different medium. And I think that we can take that sort of thing in the same way, because I find that, if you accept that, then when you do go through this moment of, let's say, stagnation or whatever, then I think that it's just either it's either energy that's stored up or it's being wasted, perhaps, doing something else, and you just have to figure out a way to transfer it into something else. So perhaps that mental, the mental block which you may be experiencing, which is why it often helps, like, if you're in a situation like that, to either take a break, take a breather, or whatever, remove yourself, and then you find that the creative juices or whatever start flowing again. And I think that it has to do with that shift in energy.
Yeah. I just thought of water.
Yeah.
I thought of the persistence of water, that it's going to find a way through no matter what.
Yep.
And it's interesting because I just had this conversation yesterday with one of our guests, that you have to be able to see past the obstacles and be able to find a way to make something work. And if you think about water, how it flows, or a stream or a river, but even think about those disgusting leaks that you may actually get in your house. You know, they find the one opening, the water finds the one opening, or wears down the one opening to find its way in. So, you know, I think that's such a wonderful way to kind of put into perspective, because we'll all face challenges and obstacles. And we may not be able to remove them, but we have to find a way around them.
Yeah, and I love that metaphor that you use with water, because it really does show that it always does find a way.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it starts with maybe a little stream or a little leak, and eventually you end up with something like a huge cave or, like, you know, the Grand Canyon and all of these great natural wonders that are formed by water. And it starts with and it may take time, but it does start with a little journey, and it takes, as you say, persistence.
That's right. All right, and from that update to or weather, we have Catherine Cumberbatch on the line. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Marlene and Gavin. Good morning.
How are you?
I am doing great. I am doing great. I'm not going to complain. I'm just here waiting to deliver the message to you all, the forecast.
Okay, you're gonna announce the news of the sunshine that's coming, right?
Yes, but not so quick. For today, we have a relatively moist easterly airflow prevailing. As I said, the good news will be that later tonight into tomorrow, we expect a drier air mass to set in. So that's it. And after that, for the rest of the week, it's going to be warm and dry. But for today, Marlene and Gavin, you could expect cloudy skies with sunny breaks, and the high temperatures will reach 84 along the coast, 87 inland, and 76 over the mountains. Tonight, the skies will be partly cloudy to cloudy, and the low temperatures will be 76 along the coast, 68 inland, and 62 in the inland. In the higher elevations. If you're looking at our radar, Marlene and Gavin, you could see that you have some showers just south of Belize City and along the coastal areas of the southern districts. We expect those showers to continue to come in over the country during the daytime. And for tonight, we expect that the showers will be concentrated mainly along southern coastal areers. And thereafter, tomorrow, expect showers, if any, will just be isolated. The dry and warm condition and dry, warm, and windy conditions will set in Wednesday into Thursday, Friday.
Right.
So, and for right now, as I said, the winds are blowing from the east at 10 to 20 knots. The sea state is moderate to rough, so we have a small craft caution remains in effect for occasionally gusty winds and locally rough seas in the easterly swells, and that is especially for the mariners out there.
All right.
Yeah, so it's good weather in the Far East because it was wet for the last 28 to 48 hours. It was wet. We don't expect any forest or bushfires to occur during the next 24 hours, so the fire risk remains low for that period.
All right. So this should be the end of it today?
Yes, for today, and by tonight it will be concentrated just down on the southern coastal areas of Belize. And after that we are going into our dry, warm, hot, windy conditions.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for that update.
You're welcome, Marlene and Gavi. Have a great day, guys, and stay safe.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right.
Yeah, so we have to deal with the rain maybe a little bit longer, but
It's all right.
you know, I'm still looking.
She gave us the best clue. She's like, after this, it's heat. So
Yeah.
now I'm okay with the rain today.
True. No, yeah.
All right, we got to get moving into our show.
Yes, we've got a lot of interesting conversations lined up, and as we mentioned earlier, we are going to be starting our show, or our first segment, rather, with the Honorable Shyne Barrow. He's going to be discussing this past weekend's events and, of course, his plans for the future for the United Democratic Party, and that's going to be our first conversation.
All right, the second part of the show, Smart Belize is celebrating its 17th anniversary. And we're going to tell you all about the developments they've made over the years and what promotions you can take advantage of to join in that celebration.
And finally, it is March, so it is tax season. And we are going to, I see Marlene, I saw that face. Yeah, I think that's how a lot of us feel.
Yeah.
But of course, it is tax season, and we are going to be joined by representatives from the Belize Tax Services, and they're going to be giving us some tips about how to fill out how to fill out and file your tax returns, and giving us a lot of useful information that will be required when doing so. And of course, it is Tuesday, so I'm going to be rounding off the show with a rundown of some of the most trending social media topics, both here and abroad, in Trending Tuesdays. So that's our show for this morning.
That's right. So we're going to go ahead and take that break. When we come back, we'll be joined by Honorable Shyne Barrow. But before we go to that break, we got to say a happy birthday to someone.
Yep, we do have a birthday greeting. Yeah. And we, all of us here at Channel 5 and Open Your Eyes, want to wish a very, very happy birthday to Sheila Carter. So Sheila, we hope you have a great day. We wish you many more. And once again, happy birthday.
All right. So we'll take that break and we'll be back in a few.
Download the SmartStream app on the Android Play Store and create your account to get access to movies and stream at home or on the go. Prepaid customers can purchase regular data packages or get a discounted rate on a special SmartStream package by dialing 7737. Postpaid customers will be billed monthly. Never miss a movie again with SmartStream.
After a rough week of school, Jake and his friends decide to treat themselves to frozen coffee. And since they don't have cash on them, they decide to use eCash. With eCash's geolocation feature, Jake can easily find the nearest coffee spot. With eCash's built-in option to split bills, Jake can pay the bill and his friends can reimburse their portion of the bill. Jake scans the merchant's code and confirms payment. Jake then views his transaction history and taps on the transaction recently made, then taps the Split the Bill button where he selects the Evenly option to evenly split the bill. The application splits the bill automatically. His friends receive and accept the request. Geolocation and splitting the bill via eCash makes Jake enjoy his digital lifestyle.
This can be you. Get vaccinated. The life you save can be yours. This is a message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
If you're looking for low-cost television advertising, have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you save valuable time and money. Call us today at 223-0146 or visit us at our offices on Pony Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
we're back and we're moving into our first conversation for this morning. As we said, for his first live interview post his official election as the leader of the United Democratic Party and also the leader of the opposition, we're joined by Honorable Shyne Barrow. Good morning.
Pleasant good morning, Marlene. Pleasant good morning, Brother Courtney.
All right, so let me just ask you, you've had a day for this to sink in. What's the feeling like today? You said there's no exhaustion on your end.
No. You know, I am determined to rebuild the United Democratic Party along with the rest of my colleagues and to form the next government. So there were no illusions as to the heavy lifting and the arduous task ahead. And so mentally, I have been preparing for this. And so it's work.
Yeah. All right.
And what do you attribute Sunday's success to?
People believed in the vision. People believed in the person that was transmitting that vision. So I really think it boiled down to, you had two great candidates, two formidable political powerhouses, both coming from maybe different angles, and my angle prevailed.
All right. Let's talk a bit about your ascent to the leader of the United Democratic Party. When you put yourself forward as the candidate for Mesopotamia, was this always a part of the plan?
Absolutely not. I thought maybe in 2030 or maybe 2035. There was really no timeline, but certainly I had no plan or no ambition beyond just being the best representative in the House for Mesopotamia and serving Mesopotamia and transforming Mesopotamia and contributing to the country. But as life happens, and you examine what is happening, then you have to answer the call of destiny, the call of circumstances, and that is what happened.
There were some strategic moves, though. When you look at the establishment of the Caucus for Change, when you look at the move towards the recall for Patrick Faber, if these incidents hadn't had happened, do you think you'd still be here today?
When you look at life, if Michael Jordan didn't hit the last shot versus the Utah Jazz, he wouldn't have won a championship. If the Baymen, if the Flowers Bank crowd did not come down to Belize City and vote to stay rather than run away, would we have Belize? So life is, it's a great lesson to learn that life is really about making the right choices at the right time, or you can miss life. So I'm present, and I believe this is a great lesson for young people, for all people, that every day is your day. Every moment is your moment. It's really up to you to define your life as it happens, but you have to be ready for it to happen. So I get up 5 o'clock every morning for the last 24 years. I have a routine that I've been following for the last 24 years to prepare me for life as it happens. So there have been downs in my life, there have been disappointments and devastations, but I have zero regrets because I've always been present. It doesn't always go the way you want it to go, but for me, the reason that I have been able to have success is because I've been present. So I've always been able to give my all because life has never really caught me off guard.
How confident were you going into the convention on Sunday?
I was confident, but I was cautious because, politics is brutal, and people will promise you. It goes both ways. Politicians and the people that elect them, they have very many similarities, to be polite. So people can change their minds to be nice. So there's always a possibility, at the last moment that, you know, people could have a change of heart and say, you know what, I go in the other way. So I always considered myself the underdog. I always considered myself behind. And I am thankful that I had people around me that are very conservative. And, you know, quietly, I thought I would win by 100. I thought it would be a commanding landslide based on what people were telling me, not based on, you know, my own premonition of, you know, self-praise, just based on the numbers. If I speak to, you know, 500 people and 350 of those people promise me, yes, Brother Shyne, I'm going to vote for you. When I tell someone I'm going to do something, I do it. So I look at people the way I treat people. So I don't expect that anyone would tell me they would vote for me and that wouldn't happen. So based on the response and the interaction that I was having throughout the country, I was convinced that those 350 people that promised me they would vote for me would indeed do that on election day.
But beyond the delegates, though, you said you felt you were going in as an underdog. That's
no. Well, that was my mindset.
Because you very openly spoke of the support of 21 area representatives.
Yes.
And the delegates are chosen, hand-selected,
yes,
by area representatives.
Yes. But we have seen that vision has not always panned out. That the delegates do what the constituency leaders ask them to do, and in a democracy, I don't expect that. I expect that every delegate has a right to choose who they want to vote, despite the constituency leaders supporting me. So my approach was not to focus on the constituency leaders exclusively. My approach was to treat everyone equally. So while I was grateful to have the support of the constituency leaders, I went into the constituencies and met with the delegates themselves to try to convince them as if the constituency leader was not supporting me. And as far as my mindset, despite the constituency leaders supporting me, despite people promising me that they would vote for me, I, as a matter of practice, for the last 20-odd years, as I developed my policy on how I would approach life, always consider myself the underdog. If I'm number one, I consider myself number 100. And I learned this, a book that I read from Michael Eisner. He was the CEO of Disney at the time. I read this book probably in like 1991. I was like 12 years old. I was an avid reader. And he talked about how he succeeded in building, you know, or continuing the legacy of Walt Disney and the Disney Empire. And he said one of the keys to success is no matter how successful you are, never consider yourself that successful. Never consider yourself number one, because if you do so, you have no room to grow. So if I had considered myself the front runner, I would have been disappointed Sunday at 5 o'clock.
Well, you weren't, but I want to come back to just the campaign for a moment. Your slogan was a time for change.
No, that was my colleague, Honorable Pantan. She was
the time is now.
Yes, I was change that you believe in.
Change that you believe in.
Yes.
Here's a question that nags me. If you are talking about change within the United Democratic Party, but you have the majority of the existing area representatives support you, that's not so much a change, that's continuing status quo.
Well, you see, we can't have convenient democracy, right? If you want an autocracy, if you want an authoritarian regime where a party leader or anyone comes in and says, Gavin, you have to go, Marlene, you have to go because the people don't want you. That is not democracy. It's the same as...
But it's politics.
But allow me, it's the same as appointing delegates, choosing delegates. I disagree with that process because it does not reflect democracy. So what needs to happen is that we need to have constituency conventions, and the constituents need to determine who they want to change. That is not my decision to make. The people that are in the party were elected by their constituents, even though they did not win the general elections. They are still duly elected caretakers, and it would be offensive and disrespectful of the democratic process for me to say, oh, well, it is my opinion that you shouldn't be a part of the party because of X, Y, and Z. That is not for me to determine. That is for the people in the constituencies to determine. And once they do that, whether or not you're a part of Caucus for Change, you supported me or you didn't support me, I will work with you based on what the people in the constituencies say. And I've made that clear. I, as party leader, will not interfere in any convention for anyone. I will stay out of it, in front of the scenes and behind the scenes, because I want the popular candidate. I want the candidate that the people want. And what has happened over the last however many years is exactly what you said. Oh, well, change. So who determines change? The party leader determines change? No, this is not my party. This party belongs to the party faithful. And those in the constituencies, the constituency voters, they will tell me who they want in Toledo East. They will tell me who they want in Belmopan. They will tell me who they want in Orange Walk Central. They will determine who stays and who goes.
But couldn't it be argued that's the exact same tactic that you used to be able to remove the then elected party leader, Patrick Faber, from the House of Representatives as leader of the opposition? Again,
I went through a democratic process. I didn't just say, oh, you need to be removed, and they were removed. We had to go to a vote. So everyone has the right. We went to a vote.
The recall.
Yes.
The recall
That
vote.
is
But
a
I'm saying
democratic.
removing him as leader of the opposition.
That was a
It was four people.
that was a democratic process, madam. You have to accept the way our constitution is written. The people who are elected in the House, according to the constitution of our country, have a right to vote, whether they're 3 or 30. The majority of whatever is there is the majority. So I didn't write the Governor General and say, Her Excellency, this is my wish. There was a majority vote and that was decided.
A majority of 5.
It doesn't matter. It could be a majority of 2, if that's possible.
Let me come back, because I don't want us to dwell on that too long. But on the issue of Honorable Faber, have you had a conversation with him?
I have been in touch.
His latest incident.
Yes, I was in touch with him to offer prayers and best wishes for him and Dr. Arnold, and to ensure him that his contributions to the party under my leadership would always be valued. I've been in touch with him at the passing of his brother, John Faber. I've been in touch with him to wish him happy birthday.
Has he extended congratulations to you?
No, he's not.
Are you surprised by that?
I don't, he just lost his brother. I don't know what he's going through personally. I don't.
Well, he supported the other candidate for the leadership.
Yes, and that's fine. That's fine. He didn't come to vote, so I don't know how much support that is.
Well, there were delegates there for Collett. Moving forward.
I had delegates for Collett. No, seriously, I did.
Let me come back to another issue as you talk about change and the constitution of the UDP. You've already said in the media, so we don't have to rehash it, that you do in fact want to shift from the existing delegate system to something more representative. Let's talk about other changes within the
Just to clarify, it's not even shifting. We just have to follow what is currently on the books, and we have not been doing that. We have just been selecting and submitting to Secretariat. These are our delegates, and that should not be the way. If we allow the constituency voters to vote, then you will have true representation, and it doesn't matter if it's 16 or 50 in the first instance. If that doesn't work, then I'm totally open to expanding the delegates list to 50, to 60, whatever the majority wants to do.
So if your position is to adhere to what exists within the UDP constitution, will you follow through on the regularly scheduled leadership conventions?
Well, absolutely.
Which would be every 2 years?
Every 2 years, absolutely. I had said on the campaign trail that I welcome a 2-year examination. and that's why you asked me, am I exhausted? I don't have time to be exhausted. This is all the way to Belmopan. This is to win the next general elections. I'm not here to have a title, to say that, oh, I'm leader of the opposition, I'm leader of the UDP. I am here to transform the country, and the only way I know we can do that is by forming the next government. So that is my ambition, to form the next government, and that's not going to be easy. We're going to have to work arduously. So again, when it comes to the Constitution and how it relates to the leadership conventions, what we need to do is the Constitutional Reform Committee to look at our party constitution and to have a special convention to amend the Constitution, because one of my promises on the campaign trail was to amend the Constitution so that anyone who has a constituency can offer themselves to be party leader or deputy party leader. Because in the instance of Senator Bradley, who I appointed senator, people were concerned that if he had offered himself to be party leader, I would have removed him. I would not have. But in the instances where you have suitable candidates that people may very well want to vote for, the only thing that stands in their way is the fact that they're not in the National Assembly. And I believe that deprives people of the opportunity to exercise their vote and to have a greater selection of suitable candidates. So that is one of the first things I want to do.
So you are most likely going to put yourself forward for a leadership convention within the next 2 years?
Well, when you say put myself forward, I am the leader of the party.
Yeah.
So it's not a matter of me putting myself forward, it is a matter of if anyone wants to challenge my leadership, then they have a right to do that. And I welcome a healthy democracy. And if I do what I'm supposed to do, if I deliver, then I don't think that will happen. If I don't, then people have a right to hold me accountable.
What's your reaction to the party chairman's refusal for the recount on Sunday?
You have to ask him.
No, but what's your reaction?
Decision. I was prepared to accept the recount. He felt otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
He's always on your show. He's always
Honorable
on Zoom.
Explained, and she's already said she's not following through with court action. So, but she explained that the discrepancies they saw had to do with the number of ballots in boxes versus number of voters.
You know, I was there. I was there. Took the excruciating pain of listening to the ballots being counted and watching, and you know, it was painful. Tracy, Shyne. And you know, every time, you know, they're pulling the ballot out, you wait to hope that Shyne was said. So I went through the entire process, and there were no discrepancies. What happened is one of the scrutineers for my opponent wrote down that I had only won one box by 6. And so that's when they thought they won. But after doing the numbers, we realized that I had won that box by 11. And that was the confusion. But the vice chairman, Alberta August, and the chairman, you know, they made the decision that ballots were counted fairly and squarely. We all had our scrutineers and our counters there, and it's time to move on.
And you know, speaking of moving on, what then is the next step? I mean, first of all, the fact that the vote was close, you know, shows that you know, there was a division, obviously, because there's a leader's convention.
I don't look at it as division, Gavin. I look at it as it shows that the UDP is alive. The UDP had 2 great candidates. If you look at, you know, much has been said about gender equality, and that is a global trend that, you know, people want to see, men and women want to see women lead and women taking their rightful place as equal partners in humanity. But there's also a trend for youth to move forward and to lead. and part of the change that you talk about has to do with youth. It has to do with us young leaders stepping up and doing things, because I won't be Prime Minister Barrow. I won't be Prime Minister Dean Barrow. You know, by God's grace, I'll be Prime Minister Shyne Barrow, and I have my vision and the way that I see life, and that informs the policies and the things that I will fight for as a leader of this country. So I just say that I look at it as, to me, it was great. And there wasn't much hostility. You know, when Tracy and I have been in touch for parliamentary matters, when she came the morning, we hugged each other. When we would pass each other, we would say hello. It's great that so many people wanted to support her. It's great that so many people wanted to support me. And I think us as two leaders, it is up to us now to bring our people together and focus on forming the next government. We could look at it as a division. I look at it as an opportunity to take two of the vibrant, dominating forces and put them together and go forward.
Which I suppose is, I guess, really at the heart of my question, which is what are the steps now that you're going to take to reconcile, I guess, the two different visions that you would have had for the party and move forward to make it, you know, as you say, in a strong opposition?
Well, you know, the Honorable Pantan is the party whip. She is the United Democratic Party whip. She is the regional leader for the eastern part of the country, and I plan to support her leadership roles, and I think that is a part of the reconciliation. And as a leader in the party, she's not just an elected member of the House, she's the party whip. The party whip, I used to be the party whip, and as party whip, you know, it was really me and the party leader. We worked very closely together. That was party leader Faber, and I was tasked with enforcing, you know, the vision of the party and the policies of the party nationally. And so I expect the discharge of those responsibilities from Honorable Pantan, and I welcome that. You know, there will be no attempt on my part to displace her. So with her responsibility to lead as party whip, as Eastern Regional leader, and my responsibility to lead the entire party together, you know, I see this as a promising beginning on the journey to Belmopan.
Yeah, but what actions are being taken? I understand the concept of working together, but there is a deep divide within the United Democratic Party.
That's what you're saying, Marlene.
The cracks have been showing. We're talking about two leadership conventions in 2020, a recall vote, and now another leadership convention. And you can fairly say that parties who suffer mass defeat often have a tumultuous period after, but how do you bring the party back for a united front, at least publicly?
Well, you know, Marlene, you have to listen to what I just said carefully. As the party leader, I could take the position that, you know, I want a new party whip. I could lobby my colleagues to say, I want a new party whip. I want a new Eastern region leader. I could do that. That could be my position. I just said that my position is that I will support the Honorable Pantan to continue to be the party whip, which is a very, very important position. When I held it, I treasured it, I guarded it. I was very, very happy to be party whip because that is a national position that, you know, is right next to the party leader. She's also Eastern Regional leader. Again, as the party leader, with the political capital that I have, I could try to cash that in and say, well, you know what, I want to go in a different direction. And I'm telling you, I am deliberately not doing that because I want to unify the party, and I don't believe in victimization or being punitive after the democratic process has already been undertaken. So that is a very, very important step. That is not just a photo opportunity and a press conference saying, yes, we are unified, but a very real demonstration of steps to keep us together and make us a strong force together.
So are you then saying that the plan at this point is not to change any of the appointed positions that exist?
No, that is not the plan. It's not a wholesale application. I will look at all the different positions, and my philosophy, my policy is that people have to work. I work extremely hard. I come from a family of extremely hard workers, and I don't believe that we should occupy these positions if we are not prepared to put in that diligent, arduous work. Nothing happens in life without the sweat of thy brow. So for me, that is what will determine, you know, who I think should try to find another way to contribute to the party if the position that they are currently holding.
So you will assess those who are in appointed positions?
Yes.
For performance?
Yes, yes. But as far as, again, as far as the Honorable Pantan, it is for the delegates, the way it should happen. The way it should happen. It didn't happen that way. She was appointed Eastern Regional Leader, but the way it should happen is she should be elected Eastern Regional Leader by the delegates of the Eastern Region. So all the constituencies in Belize City and Belize Rural should vote on who will be the Eastern Regional Leader. And I am saying to you, I am saying to the entire country, she has my support to be Eastern Regional Leader. And that is important, because I believe that she has demonstrated the capacity to hold that position.
Let me shift gears.
One of the other
slightly.
things that I would like to just add when you talk about how I will reconcile, one of the important things when it comes to reconciliation, again, is work. So I am going to go into the constituencies as I promised, right? Starting, try to go before Easter, at least a few constituencies, and have constituency meetings with the chairman of the party, with my PR chair, my membership chair, my policy chair, and discuss the way forward. And I will continue doing that all throughout my tenure. And I believe when you're working, when you're engaging people, even those constituencies that outright said they didn't vote for you. Before the elections, I went to see Minister Aragon, Orange Walk East. He's a Tracy supporter. I didn't go there for his support and his delegate support. I went there to ensure the executive committee that in spite of their support for Tracy, they will have my support as far as rebuilding Orange Walk East and rebuilding the party. And so all I believe I have to do is make good on that, is to continue engaging the executive committees and working with them. We have village councils coming up.
That's right.
Right?
Shortly after municipal elections, so there's very limited time.
So there's no time to sit around and do nothing. There is much to do, and I believe if you're working, if you're engaging those people, even the ones that you may think did not vote for you or outright said they didn't vote for you, there will be no time for idleness, for mischief making, only time to get the job done, which is to win.
Let me ask you a question. Who's your support team? Who's your mentor? You're a first-time leader, first-time area representative. The budget debate, a part of the commentary was your inexperience showed.
That's the PUP. That's the PUP
from the government
narrative.
PUP.
Of course,
but
that is a compliment.
First time.
Whenever they attack.
Let me get to my
me,
question.
it's a compliment.
Thank you.
Yes, sure.
And often said that you have to steel yourself and prepare yourself for this role. So who's your support system? Is it your father who's guiding you?
You know, it is very ironic that, the PUP narrative always seems to be my truth, and it's not. When you listen to the UDPs and you listen to objective people, they thought I was the best in the debate, and that was from last year's debate. And they feel this year's debate I did even better, and I'm talking about some of my harshest critics internally. senior people. So there is no question as to my capacity and my ability to lead this party.
I don't think the question was capacity or
You just
ability.
said
I think
experience.
it was inexperience.
Yes, but experience, I don't need to be experienced in self-enrichment. I don't need to be experienced in corruption.
Let me
I
go
need
back
to be,
to the question.
I'd like
who
to answer.
mentors you? The question was, who is your support system?
but
Who guides you? Is it
can
your father
Can
taking...
I get around to the answer?
Well, we have limited time.
Yes, but the the point that I am making is I have many people that give me advice, and I have demonstrated that I am very, very capable, and I am experienced by life. You know, I have done a lot in life. I have many successes in life because you can have a PhD, but if you have no success to show after you get that piece of paper, it means nothing. And I think I have demonstrated time and time and time again that while some may say I'm a neophyte, I have proven otherwise, and I will continue to prove that because I work hard, I listen, and I'm very fortunate to have people such as the former Prime Minister Barrow to advise, you know, the former party leader, John Saldiva, and the entire caucus for change, who I thank profusely for their support of me. And there are many senior members of the party, Ruben Campos, who is ill right now. He's in Merida getting treatment. He was a former Minister of Sports and Youth from Orange Walk. You know, I have many people from the business community that have been around since George Price, from Esquivel to Musa to Barrow, that believe in me and that give me very sound advice. So I have a universe of very wise people that I rely on for advice.
Now, we've discussed, I think, in interviews, and I've said it multiple times on the show, you know, whatever people view of any political party, a strong opposition is important for a democratic process. Now, as the official leader of the party and leader of the opposition, how do you plan to ensure full engagement of representatives at the House? You are aware that at that budget debate, you and Honorable Panton were the most, they stayed the longest. Honorable Pat was there momentarily. Honorable Faber is traveling, and your aunt, Honorable Barrow, has not been at a House meeting.
Yes.
What do you plan to do about it?
You know, again, I had this discussion yesterday. You know, forgive me if sometimes I feel that narratives that are put forth to me are biased and it is a People's United Party narrative. Forgive me. I do believe that that is a People's United Party narrative.
The narrative that a elected representative should show up for work.
I believe, again, if this is your opinion.
Asking you.
This is your opinion?
That's a question.
I'm asking if it's your opinion.
That's a question I'm posing to you. Do
Okay.
you believe she should be present at House meetings?
My position is that I believe because the first question you asked me is, you know, what would I do about it?
No, what do you plan to do?
So that's two questions. So the member from Queen Square was elected by the people of Queen Square. And when the people of Queen Square come to me, or whatever means of communications they have to express any type of dissatisfaction with the fact that the member from Queen Square is not in the House as regularly as you or others may want her to be, then I will take immediate action to address that. But I have said before that everyone serves their constituency in different ways, and I am all about serving the constituency in the most effective way for that person. Now, until the rules change in the House, standing orders, and there is a mandatory requirement, the senior member from Queen Square, she's a senior member of the party, will have to deal with the matter. My intervention will come when the people that elected the member for Queen Square start to complain. Until then, I will consider it as political banter, and it is not my place. You need to call the member from Queen Square and interview her and ask her what she plans to do. My position as leader of the opposition and leader of the party is that representatives have to be given the latitude to exercise their discretion as to how they feel they are best serving their constituents. And constituents, if they have a problem, let their voices be heard, and I will address it. If constituents complain and say, listen, this is what we want, I will address it at that point.
So what about appearances, though? I mean, which is a huge part of politics. I mean, not only for the in a situation like that, not only for the constituents, but also the appearance of the United Democratic Party as a strong, let's say, unified party or in opposition.
I'm much more concerned with the 10,000 houses that were promised for Belizean people and is not reflected in this current budget. I'm much more concerned with the 10% that was taken away from public servants when there was a 20% increase in salary for teachers that was promised. I'm much more concerned with the tens of thousands of jobs that were promised as part of public debt reduction, that the way that the PUP would reduce the debt was to transfer the public officers out of public sector to private sector jobs. That is not happening. I'm much more concerned with the high gas prices and inflation.
Let me get one other question in on this issue. Many will watch and speculate that because of the familial connection, that's why perhaps you are more understanding of or accepting of the absenteeism that has been displayed.
You know, Marlene, I take that as I don't know if necessarily as an insult. You know, it's like me saying because your former CEO is now CEO in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, that Channel 5 is biased and Channel 5 is a PUP vehicle. I wouldn't do that, because that is high speculation and that could offend someone, and you're reaching.
Well, we are a public company and there's proof. I'm asking
I'm just saying, but your former CEO is currently, the former CEO of Channel 5 is currently the CEO of Foreign Affairs. She used to work for Prime Minister Musa. So one can argue, whenever I come on the show, UDPs argue with me, where you going on a PUP show for? And I said, no man, we have to, that is a media conglomerate, and we need to, exactly. But you can make the argument that you have biases, but no, that is not, it's not so.
Let me come back
It's not so. I don't deal with familial.
I've worked in this
I don't deal with familial, I don't deal with
familial
decisions.
Deflection is very common. The question
now
is
you're
for
accusing
people,
me of deflection.
The question that people will have.
No, you're accusing me of deflection.
Will Shyne Barrow take the same position if, for example, Honorable Faber no longer shows up?
He has not been showing up for quite some time.
Two.
No, it's more than two, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
and
will
I have
you
not,
have that
I have
same
not blasted,
position,
I have not
or
blasted
is this position
him.
simply because of the familial relation?
I am offended that you would accuse me of
I don't
any
accuse
type
you.
of.
I ask the questions that people will ask.
Who are the people? The PUP? The CEO of Foreign Affairs? Who are the people? I don't know, Marlene, but no, I will not have any type of bias when it comes to members of the House. My position applies across the board.
So let's come back to the moving forward for the party. You talk of the need for a strong opposition. You talk of representation. What's the plan moving forward from here?
The plan is to get into the constituencies and work. Certainly village councils are important, and getting everyone galvanized, mobilized, well-resourced is my first order of business. So the village councils will be a litmus test for where we are the people that are complaining about inflation, are the people that are complaining about gas paying and all of the promises that have not been delivered under the PUP government. Are those people going to demonstrate that dissatisfaction, or is that just hyperbole? And you know, I will put my village council slates in the best position to test that, whereas in the municipal elections we had no financing, no funding, and so you really couldn't tell if people were having buyer's remorse. In this village council, I will make sure that my people are well resourced so that we can have a true litmus test as to the dissatisfaction of the PUP government. So that's the first order of business.
Well, I wanna ask one other thing, because I see we're quickly running out of time. But you know, speaking of the way forward and change, which your election represents a change for the UDP at least. When you speak about a lot of national issues, and when these issues are discussed and when they are in the House, when you criticize the government, one of the first responses that people often say is that, well, UDP was in government for so long, a lot of these problems didn't just start overnight. So how do you now plan to address these issues now that you're in a leadership position and take the UDP, you know, present the UDP then as a viable option for people when they may say, well, no, you don't have any credibility because a lot of these problems started or were exacerbated under you?
Well, you know, Gavin, we have work to do to rebuild the trust and confidence of the Belizean people. We have tremendous work to do as far as regaining our credibility. I will not try to deceive you and pretend as if, you know, our voice of credibility is solid. I believe that comes with the work in the constituency. And once we are engaging the people in the constituencies, that trust will return. And so when you're speaking in the House of Representatives, you know, in the budget debate, I could have went through how the super bond was created, all of the terrible things that happened under the Musa administration that burdened the Barrow administration. But I believe that is exercise in futility. And I believe when the present government excuses its poor performance or inability to deliver based on the Barrow administration, people don't like it. People don't want to hear about that. You know, people want to hear about solutions to the problems that they are having. So my responsibility is to go into the House every day, is to go into the constituencies every day and to examine the performance of the government, and where they are not performing at the level that they promised, we have to point that out. And people need to be reminded of what was promised and what is being given. People need to, in that hemisphere, there are also evolving problems that come that may not have been anticipated, and the government's response to that. That is the voice that we have as the opposition. I don't attack people personally in the House. I don't need to attack and bring back what happened under the Musa administration and under the Barrow administration. This is the Briceño administration, and people want solutions now. And the Minister of Police used to always say, if you can't do the job, resign. And so people don't want to hear excuses. People do want voices of the opposition to point out what may not be going right. And I pointed out never to eviscerate the government, never to belittle them or to be demeaning, but I pointed out for solutions. When I talked about high gas prices, the Prime Minister said that, okay, he was going to have a meeting with you know, all of the stakeholders to have a solution. If we go in there and don't say anything and just bow and recite, then the government will do whatever they want.
Your role
Exactly. So we have to rebuild our credibility. But until that happens, we have to continue speaking on the matters that people are dealing with in society.
All right. Well, we are smack out of time, as we said. This won't be the last conversation we have with you. We appreciate you coming in this morning.
Yes.
All
Thank you.
right.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, too. And with that, we're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, it's to talk about Smart Belize's 17th anniversary. So please, stay tuned.
Technology is ubiquitous, and it's transforming how, when, and where we work. Fulltech Systems is placing award-winning devices in the hands of information workers, allowing them to work without compromise in a world without wires, to innovate, create, and to maximize productivity anytime, anywhere, satisfying the needs of the desk-centric remote and field worker and every other worker in between. We are providing the industry's best devices to businesses going through the process of digital transformation. Partner with us today to provide the solutions that will allow your employees to work effectively and efficiently to enhance your customers' experience. Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price but stay for the service.
Applying for a Social Security sickness benefit? Here's what you need to know. A complete claims package includes 1. Sickness claim form fully completed by the claimant and medical doctor. 2. Salaries record form completed by the employer or HR representative. 3. Proof of bank account such as bank book, online banking, or statement displaying your name and account number. To submit via email, you need to take a clear photo or scan of the documents and email to claims@socialsecurity.org.bz. Be sure to include your full name, social security number, and benefit type in the subject line of the email. Or you can drop off all completed forms into the Dropbox slot at the nearest branch office. Deadline to submit is 14 days from your first day of illness. All forms are available on the website at www.socialsecurity.org.bz. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
All right, and we're back. We're moving into our second conversation for today, where we are talking about the commemoration of the 17th anniversary of Smart Belize. We have joining us on set the CEO of Smart Belize, Ernesto Torres, and he is joined by Adelaide Zabido, who is the Ads, Promotions, and Communications representative. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
All right, and happy anniversary celebrations to you guys.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for having us this morning. But yes, today is a very special day for Smart. We are celebrating 17 years of existence in Belize, and so much has happened over the 17 years. And with that being said, from the beginning of the month, March is usually our celebratory month.
Yeah.
We've had several promotions for the public to take advantage of for our anniversary. And we started off with our device sale. That is something that is always close to heart because there are specific demands from customers when it comes to devices. We have them categorized, from the flip phones to the little ones where you just have the numbers that the elderly folks seem to gravitate to, of course, the high-end phones, the Samsung lines and the iPhones. So there's a budget for everyone per usual. And this year we had devices for data-capable devices for as low as $170. And I shared the flyers with you guys for the device sale. And combined with that, we also had a tablet sale. We're getting back to some normalcy, but we still have that demand, especially for students who are on the go and want something to get their work done, do their meetings. And so we also have a tablet sale still going on. And these promos, they go until March 31st. So even though today is the anniversary,
the last week to take advantage.
You still have 2 more days to take advantage of these device promo sales. Right now, we can't just do a tablet and a device sale for anniversary. That would be a normal sale. So for our anniversary, since we're celebrating 17 years, we have combined a raffle per se with the purchase of every device. Customer is entered into a raffle to win $1,700, right? And so that's the big game for that. And we don't stop there, of course. Smart always has it coming. We have also introduced and launched today our new data bundles. And what is this exactly? We have right now, and I just want to mention it because it's a question we get so much. How do you buy data? Well, we have 2 different categories of our bundles. We have small packages where customers can call net to purchase data, which is 638. And these are the new data bundles that we see on screen. I think the second one for 340 megabytes for $2 is a new data bundle that we're introducing. And all the rest pretty much are the same price. You're just getting more data. So the data packages literally have been boosted, and a new package has been added to the small bundles, which is dialing 638 to purchase.
And this is permanent moving forward, or this is an anniversary boost?
No, this is permanent moving forward.
Nice.
This has been our data enhancement project for our customers. And then we have the larger packages, which start at 2,500 megabytes for $14, and it goes all the way to 32,000 megabytes for $160. And to purchase those data bundles, customers just need to dial data, which is 3282 to purchase. Again, these are the same price per bundle, just a boosted amount of megabytes that customers are getting. And so we're so fortunate to have launched this in line with our anniversary. And we've moved into that era where everything is data. And I'm sure for both companies, us and our competitors, we've seen that the usage is mainly data.
And people can't get enough. So that's why boosted packages are even better. I think that gives us a great opportunity to bring Ernesto into the conversation, talking about this 17 years and the journey it's been.
It's always good to step back after 17 years and look back where you have been, what you have accomplished. And we entered the market in the 25th of March, 2005. So it's been 17 years. So when you look back, what it did, it introduced competition into the market. Because prior to that, there was only one provider. And what competition has done is opened up a range of things. The proliferation of devices, affordable devices, coverage has been expanded. More places have received service than they had before. The penetration rate we kind of estimate that to be about 98% on the mobile side of the market. Prices have gone down considerably. We have seen, I was looking at some statistics yesterday, and a price of an international call was about 99 cents prior to 2005. It's now at 15, 25 cents. Data was like $99 a month for 128 kilobytes of data, which in those days was have been blazing speeds, I would assume.
Yeah.
But now you're talking gigabytes volumes and megabytes speeds. So it has come a long way, and we are very proud of having contributed to that. We are also proud of the contributions we have made in the economy in terms of taxes, fees, and so on. For instance, business tax, up to date we have paid over $50 million worth in business tax, $40 million in GST, $7.8 million in spectrum fees. So we have contributed significantly to the market and to the economy and to the growth of the country. So we're very proud that we have been part of that. And I think it's just looking forward now to further expansions, further new technologies, new products and services, because this industry is highly competitive.
Yeah.
You can't stay stagnant.
Highly competitive, and also it evolves quickly. And that was the question I wanted to get at. Just looking at, your original entry point of looking at phone calls and minutes, and you started to have packages, to where you now evolve today, meeting needs as they arise.
Yeah, in fact, one of the areas though that it's growing, but it has its challenges, is the penetration of the internet. Figures are hard to come by, but we believe that it's around 22% penetration in the country. We may be a bit off, but that's our estimation. Which, when you compare it to the mobile part of the market, which is almost 98 to 100%, you can see the gap. And that has been a challenge for everyone, including not only for Smart, but the other provider and even the ISPs that are now in the market. And we are developing strategies as how to get to these unserved areas, because that's where it is. And we see a value in that, because it all fits in with what government is trying to do, which is this e-governance aspect of it, where you have to have a connection to the internet if you want to do distant learning, if you want to do banking, if you want to file an application. So we believe that is the way we are going to move now, in trying to get to the unserved areas, right? So that percentage can actually increase.
Yeah. And the video on demand option that was recently launched, do we want to talk about that?
Yes. So
because that's what people do now, right?
Right. Well, we saw it over the last 2 years. I think everyone was glued to Netflix and Amazon Prime and all these video outlets. And we have at Smart very young staff and very innovative staff, we believe. And we have recently launched our new product, our new service, which is Smart Stream, which is video on demand. And basically what we have done is, it's similar to Netflix, just that customers now don't need a credit card to purchase movies or to rent a movie. And so they can download the app, which is currently available on the Google Play Store, and it's free of cost. We are in the works of getting it for Apple devices on the Apple Store. But all you need to do once the app is downloaded, you need to register with a Smart number and an email. And once you get that verification code, you just register your account in the app. And we have went a step further to create special data streaming packages. So you don't have to use your data package that you dial from net or data. You can dial 7737, and there are options to purchase specific data packages that will allow you to stream these videos. So no longer will customer have to say, oh, well, my data finishes quick streaming a movie. It is also applicable to use the app and stream movies with smart broadband as well. So it's very straightforward, very easy. The movies range anywhere, I believe, from $4.99 to $16, depending on the year of the movie. You know, the more premium movies would cost a bit more, but you can. The rental of these movies are for specific time periods. But you can watch it over and over within that period. So it is a new service where you use your prepaid credit to purchase these movies and to purchase the data for these to stream these movies. And for postpaid customers, it would just be added to their monthly bill.
Now, this is an interesting development, and I think in looking at the way forward, at first, you know, people were hesitant to do the Netflix and the Fire Stick, and now everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people have their own smart TVs. We see it in our views as well, people going towards the integrated apps on these programs. And so, you know, it shows that you are willing to shift your products that are being offered as you see the needs and demands from customers.
Right, and in fact, the library of movies is 300 plus. So you can go in and you'll actually, when you go on the app, you'll actually be able to scan much the same way you do it on Netflix. Scan your movie you want to watch the preview, and then buy it. So it gives a wide range. But your point is taken. No? It's an industry where you need to move in the direction of where the demand is. And content is certainly one of those.
And to add to that, it just shows in 17 years the shift that we've had. Many may not realize it, but when we started in 2005, we were simply a mobile carrier. And we've shifted so much, well, increased our services so much to include broadband, internet to homes, to include VoIP technology for businesses, and you know, we're now at video on demand. And so in 17 years there's been a lot of growth. It's a lot of milestones. We were the first as well to introduce 3G to the market, again with 4G LTE. So it is something I think our staff, our management is very humble and proud at the same time, because we have been innovative and worked diligently and rigorously to ensure that we keep in tune with the demands and where the market is going.
And of course, part of that success is also keeping your customers and your clients happy. And what's the what has been, over the years, the engagement been like with your customers and building that sort of loyalty that they have over the years? Well,
I think when we started, Smart started as a mobile operator, right? In other words, just doing mobile wireless services. What people don't realize is that we have now moved above that, and we are now a full-fledged telecommunications provider. We engage with business clients. We engage with the residential market, the business market. So our services have expanded, right? And the engagement we make with customers is on a one-to-one basis. Right. And I must say that we are well known for our customer service oriented approach to consumers, right? So whereas in the past we used to be considered just a mobile operator, we would like people to know that we are also a full-fledged provider, and we have several business clients, several residential clients, not only on the mobile but also in the internet, content, and everything that makes up this telecommunications industry.
Now, let's just focus for a moment. When you look at your growth and you're able to see the accomplishments, and we've spoken about quite a few, it's not without challenges. I want us to be able to look at some of the challenges you faced and how it's kind of propelled you as you move forward.
Yes, well, I mean, it's no secret. Prior to the change in government, We had several challenges, legal challenges with the then Public Utilities Commission. And of course, we weren't in any way, we were excluded actually from bidding for government services, telecom services. And that obviously was a major challenge and a major setback for us, because we couldn't compete in the full spectrum of business clients and government clients. But apart from that, despite that, right, we are a major player in this industry. And with the change of government, there has been now a shift where we can go in and compete. And I think that's a very important factor.
Yeah. And the key part, I guess, for you, as we saw in the recent ruling, is that you can allow for more competitive prices.
That's right. That's right. I mean, for me, the ruling has three things. One, it focuses on the aspect that this industry is dynamic and is competitive. It vindicates the fact that what we have been saying all along, that we have the same rights to compete for government telecommunication businesses. And thirdly, it actually demonstrates that governments get better prices when you allow competition for your telecommunication services. So that, for us, was a major accomplishment, a major development, I must say.
Yeah. And being able to kind of understand that you are competing in, I mean, it's highly competitive, and people look for quality, but I mean, I guess you find they probably go after price more. What's the preference?
Price is certainly one of the areas that we have found, but surprisingly, what we have also found in the market, for instance, where in the business market, customer service is very important for them. So it's a combination of both, and we try to make sure that we are focused on both. On the mobile prepaid market, which, as you know, is about, I would guess, 98% of the market, it's really one of price and devices, really.
Yeah.
So what we have done is obviously, that's a major market, obviously, and you have to keep at it. But there is a great potential for business clients, and that's where we are focusing as well.
Yeah. And what about emerging trends that you've been seeing? I'm sure you must be fascinated to see how users adapt to new products that you may put out.
Well, I think the video on demand is a big thing for us right now. I think we've realized, and it's no secret, that a lot of Belizeans don't have a credit card. So they really rely on those who have a card, or a family member that has a card and can share users for Netflix, for example. And so them being able to use now their prepaid credit that they have very easy access to is something that I think they're looking forward to. Just this weekend, we were out at the Spanish Lookout Expo, and we shared it with many customers that came by, downloaded it on their phones, and they seemed to be amazed that, hey, I now have that power to use my prepaid credit for one additional service with Smart. And that's something that I think they're very happy about. It's something that is trendy right now. We've shifted all the international carriers to have a similar service available, and just having that power with Smart to do more with their credit and is something that I think our customers are very happy about and very satisfied. I mean, not only can they use their prepaid and their promo credit to text internationally, call and text locally, buy data bundles, they can now stream movies, right? So that is something that is very big for us right now, and just launched a week into it now, I think we are seeing that popularity, that little trend starting to build, and it being shared among friends and family, and so we continue to push on that.
Okay. And from your end, Ernesto?
I think from our end, really, it's really to look at emerging technologies that are coming on. I think you have heard that in the United States they have launched 5G now.
That's right.
And that is something that we're looking at, because there usually a lag between the developed markets and our markets, because we are smaller. right? And you have things like the cost of equipment, the cost of the handhelds are high. So it takes a while for once the ecosystem grows, the investment in equipment, the cost of equipment goes down, cost of handsets go down, and so you're able then to make use of that technology, right? So that's where we're going. 5G is going well. And it's, as you mentioned, it's an evolving industry, right?
Right.
So 5 years from now, it'll be 6G and 7G and I don't know what else, right? But it's all with the issue of having internet on your mobile phone, having internet on your at home, and you can then move from one environment to the next. And that's where this industry is going.
And having everything accessible on your phone, including your favorite movies on your streaming app. Nice. Now, what do you think has allowed, understanding the challenges that the company faced very early on and starting off with mobile 17 years ago as the only competitor, what do you think has made you stand apart and allow you to be able to sustain yourself through?
I think there's several things. One is the fact that we have been able to provide service in areas that were not served before, right? That's one. Two, that we have been able to bring, come to the market with having made available devices that are lowering cost, right? Because you have to make things available, right? And it's also a case of good customer service on our side. And I think those elements make good for further development.
And I understand that we have some giveaways too?
Yes, we do. If you would enlighten me a little bit in how you want to proceed with that.
Well, I know we have them ready to be able to share. So we're supposed to have 4 questions. There's some giveaways for our viewers.
Right.
Tell us what they're going to win. Let's start with that.
Okay, so we have an opportunity for 4 winners, and we are giving away 2 cell phones and 2 $50 gift cards. Right. So the questions have been forwarded to you guys already.
Yes. So we do have them up, and what we're going to do is the live giveaway this morning. So that means you have to go to your phone or pull up Facebook on your phone, go to your tablet, your computer, go to facebook.com, find Open Your Eyes BZ, and you're going to comment under the live stream. And it has to be the person who comments the correct answer first, right? We're not watching. The producer is monitoring behind the scenes, so she's going to tell us who that winner is. So let's go ahead with the first question.
All right. The first question is, how many cell sites does Smart currently have? And throughout the live, I think a graph was shown with what we started with and what we currently have. I know Mr. Torres mentioned it as well. How many cell sites do we currently have?
All right, so we're going to give you 2 questions. Let's go with another one. The next question is,
what is SmartStream?
Oh.
What is SmartStream? That's a very easy one.
Giveaways, right? They're not called Earn Your Prize. Yeah, so we have those 2 questions up. Once again, our producer is going to cue us in as to when those winners, or the names of the winners, I should say. We know we have some faithfuls who are eagerly waiting to be able to participate. But let's talk about, in the meantime, before we close off with the last 2 questions, just how do you commemorate the anniversary as well? I mean, what are the things that are significant markers for you, and how do you use the anniversary as a moment to herald them?
Well, one of the things that we have done, and I think I mentioned it to Adelaide and Lisa, that one way of commemorating the March 25th was to identify 9 super women that work in the company. And it was very nice because they were circulated among the staff, and I encouraged them to
We have it shared here.
Yeah,
we have it shared here. We had 9 staff,
and that's one way. And we have also shared a lot of gifts and things with staff, because whether we like it or not, our staff is a remarkable set of people, right? And you can't run a business like this without very good staff. And I must commend them for their sincere desire to see us prosper and to grow. And they're committed. So a remarkable group of people.
Nice. All right, there you have it. That's the woman that you selected to highlight this year.
Right.
As a part of Women's Month as well. Fantastic.
All right, I think we've got a winner for the first question.
Yeah,
our producer's just getting us a message. So the winner, Yolanda Kowo, 107 sites.
All right, that is correct.
And you started with?
27.
All right.
All right, so Yolanda, you are our first winner.
And that's kind of a hard question, so I think we have that phone for that person.
All right, there you go, Yolanda. Congratulations.
All right, okay, and now we've got a second winner as well. For the Smart Stream answer, Eligio Grajales, we've got you winning that. So that's number 2.
Yeah.
What
that
is
prize
Smart
is?
Stream? And that is a $50 gift card.
All right, so Eligio,
Watch your movies on your Smart Stream. That's what you do.
$50 gift card from Smart, and Yolanda, you have won a new cell phone for answering the first question correctly.
All right, and that's not all the giveaways. We got 2 more questions.
Yes. And the third question is, let me scroll back down. How do you purchase your new data bundles? There are 2 short codes that we have, and that's a question we get asked consecutively on Facebook. How do you purchase or how do you buy data?
Yeah. What do you dial? All right. Well, listen, that should be an easy one for people to be able to answer because everybody has to purchase their data at some point in time.
And then the last question, what are some of the services Smart offers to corporate clients? What are some services we offer to businesses?
All right, so we have those 2 questions. Once again, there's a phone and a $50 gift certificate that will be awarded to the winners once you comment on the live stream. So let's just close off with some of the other what's to come promotions as we commemorate the 17th anniversary.
Well, in addition to highlighting the women for our anniversary as well as Women's Month, we are also awarding some of the staff that have been there for, I think, more than 15 years, and as well for those 10 years. And so it's something that we look forward to every year. It's a milestone to be with the company, to see its accomplishments, and to be a part of that. And and of course we can't forget that today is a double up. Right? So
now you dropped that, right?
So today is a double up, and so moving forward, the work continues most naturally, and there is much work ahead of us. We have our customers who we communicate with a lot. We listen to, we hear what their demands are. We try to meet those, and of course, like every business, we likewise wish to expand, and the works are in and gears are oiled and greased and ready to move forward with that as we expand and try to meet the demands of our customers in terms of making our service not just affordable for them, but the quality, be assured that they are satisfied with that. So do you like to add anything?
Well, I just like in closing to first of all thank our customers for their loyalty and the business that they give us, because without them we wouldn't be here.
Right.
I would also like to thank the staff, as I had mentioned to you earlier. They are a remarkable set of people. They are gifted and they are sincere in what they do, which translates into good customer service. It translates into good services as well. No? And I'd like to assure the public that we will continue to grow. Our strategy is really based on 3 pillars: customers, employees, and community service. And those will continue to be where we're going to focus on and do developments. So thank you to everyone.
All right. And we have 2 giveaways still pending. So, of course, we're going to wait on the name of those winners, or we'll announce it a bit later as they're sending it over to us. But we appreciate you coming in and sharing your anniversary with us and telling us about the latest developments and wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having us.
All right. And with that, we're going to go ahead and take a break, and we'll be back in a few. Stay tuned.
Download the SmartStream app on the Android Play Store and create your account to get access to movies and stream at home or on the go. Prepaid customers can purchase regular data packages or get a discounted rate on a special SmartStream package by dialing 7737. Postpaid customers will be billed monthly. Never miss a movie again with SmartStream.
Galenia Hospital, located in Cancun, Mexico's premier tourism destination, is a state-of-the-art healthcare facility that provides highly specialized medical services. We are Quintana Roo's biggest private hospital with board-certified doctors and staff. Some of our services include cath lab, adult intensive care unit, neonatal intensive care unit, emergency rooms, operating theaters, ambulance services, and more. We are a medically accredited hospital by JCI, Accreditation Canada International, and General Health Council, providing extraordinary care in every specialty, from our cardiology department to our neurology center. We are focused on treating the entire person, body, mind, and spirit. Contact us at medicaltourism@hospitalgalenia.com or visit our website at www.hospitalgalenia.com. Come to Galenia Hospital in Cancun for a truly personal medical care experience.
Your life just got a lot less complicated with Belize Bank Contactless MasterCard Debit Card. Introducing our Standard Debit and MasterCard Platinum Debit Cards. Now you can make purchases anywhere MasterCard is accepted with one tap, pay and go. Your contactless card never has to leave your hands, especially in these times. And your card is embedded with multiple layers of security. Platinum card holders get to enjoy extra benefits like price protection, purchase protection, trip inconvenience, and luggage protection, just to name a few. Start enjoying a cashless lifestyle today with the Belize Bank.
If you're looking for low-cost television advertising, have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you save valuable time and money. Call us today at 223-0146 or visit us at our offices on Pony Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
And we'll be back in a few, so stay tuned. Thanks, Jen. Hey there, we know you have to head out to work shortly, but don't forget that you can stay tuned by watching us on our Facebook live stream. Find us at Open Your Eyes BC, and you can continue watching there. You can also download Facebook Watch on your streaming device, and you can watch at your own convenience.
And for all the behind-the-scenes fun, follow us on Instagram at OYE Belize. So,
find us
and follow us
today. And we're back, and we're moving into our final conversation for today. This is a very important one. You may have been putting it off. The deadline is approaching, and that is the time to file your income tax return.
Yes.
And we have with us, I know it can be a complicated process for some people, so we have our good friends from the tax service to tell us about what we need to do, what we need to turn in, and how the process is getting simpler. We have Michelle Brown, who's the manager of Taxpayer Service, and we have Lisa Claire, who's the deputy director. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, such a pleasant greeting for not so pleasant topic. I'm kidding. No, this is our responsibility that we have, and the deadline is approaching.
Yes, so March 31st is the deadline for employees to file their tax return. We've tried to make it easier for employees when they file the return. So first of all, there is a form on our website, Belize Tax Service website, and that form allows you to actually fill in your information. So the calculation part that many times employees find difficulty with, once they key in the total salary that they make and the taxes that was withheld, then that form automatically calculates it for you. So then you only have the information at the top, your personal information that you would need to fill in. So we've tried to make it easier for employees to, fulfill that tax responsibility.
I don't, I find there used to be a booklet that went along with it to kind of explain what to put in each category. But there are several little areas where people get stuck or confused. How do you offer support to people to ensure that they properly fill out the forms?
Well, currently we have several lines that they can contact to get help with filling out their returns. They can call the office as well. And I know that part that they usually get stuck with is when it comes to charitable contributions or sometimes their personal relief because they don't know what bracket they fall under. So at that point, they can contact us and we can guide them because basically the personal relief is a breakdown of the emoluments that you receive. So with that being said, that is what will be deducted from your actual emoluments, and then there forward you will then deduct if you have any charitable or educational contributions from your emolument. So that is where they usually get a little stuck. Most persons already have the personal information filled out, and it's always just a calculation we guide them. But like Mrs. Claire indicated, on our website, we do have the fillable form that the minute you put in those figures, it automatically calculates
There's the calculation for you. So let's talk about the different tax brackets for people. So maybe somebody who's like looking at their sheet right now, stuck at that question, how they can find the information or what information they need.
The tax bracket is actually stated right behind that same actual form. So all those, you just need to see your emoluments on the TD4 that is provided by your employer. You look at the back of the form, anything below 26,000, your personal relief will be 25,600, which is you're not taxable, you're not in the taxable bracket, so you shouldn't have paid any tax. So if at any point taxes were withheld, at that point you will get back a refund for that.
That's right. So fill it out so you can get the refund.
Correct.
Yeah.
And as your emoluments increase, then the personal relief then reduces. So here we have where it's between 26,001 cents to 27,000, your personal relief will be 24,600. And anything from 27,001 cents to 29,000, your personal relief will be 2,600. And anything above 29,000 $1 cents, your personal relief is 19,600.
Okay.
So it all depends on what was made within that year.
All right. So that's the first area where people get a little bit stuck. The other part is, as you said, the charitable donations. Now, there are some criteria that have to be met to be able to have your donation qualify as a charitable donation. Even though you may give money all around to people with a kind heart, for tax purposes, there's a process. Yeah?
Correct. That charitable institution must be registered as a charitable institution for us to deem that receipt applicable. Also, you have to ensure that you get a proper document from the person that you had contribute. That means you have to get a formal letter on their letterhead stamped by that institution and indicating that Ms. Marlene had contributed X amount for that year, and it has to be the basis year that you're filling your return for. It cannot be prior or a current year. It has to be, so if you're filing currently, you're filing your 2021 return, then that charitable contribution has to be within the basis year 2021. And we also have the educational contribution, whereby you can pay for educational for, it might be a friend. It cannot be that of your own child. And it's a maximum of $400 per child with a maximum of 4 child for that year. So you have a maximum claim of $1,600 that you can claim on any basis year. But that in itself also has a requirement whereby you have to ensure that you receive from the education institution a letter indicating that you had contributed funds or
paid
it doesn't
fees
have,
or
because
tuition.
sometimes it's not only school fees. It's they might pay for the books, they might pay for other things. It doesn't have to be only, yes, but it has to be a letter from that institution indicating that you had contributed. If it's for school fees, then you have to indicate for what child you have made that contribution for.
And it can't be your child.
It can't be your
and
child.
it can't be a child that lives in your household.
Correct.
Yes. Okay.
See, you remember.
I get to have this yearly conversation with you all.
As well, we want persons to be reminded that even though they may have contributed more than they were able to claim that year, you can carry forward that for the next 5 years. So if you were only able, if you donated maybe 2,000 and you were only able to claim maybe 1,000 this year, it does not mean that you don't get the benefit of that other 1,000. You can carry that forward to your other returns that you come in to file.
Okay. And just to go back very quickly to the charitable donations, what organizations, you said it has to be registered, but what organizations would qualify?
The organization has to be an organization that benefits everybody. So it can't be just, like, for example, if I set up an organization that will only benefit maybe my friends or my family. No, it has to be something that benefits everybody within the community, because that is what the law speaks to, you know. So it has to benefit everybody. It cannot be a discretionary kind of thing.
And it can't just be like a cash receipt. It has to be a receipt from the organization itself.
Yes.
Yeah. Any other traps that you find people fall into that we can warn them ahead of time?
One of the things we want to remind persons is that you should report income for at least 48 weeks for the year, right? So you should, if you have worked for the entire year, of course you will submit that information. You should submit all your salary for that year. So whether you have worked for one employer, if you had 5 employers, all that information is pulled together and you file one tax return. However, if you have worked for less than 48 weeks, persons need to state at the back of the return, or if they are filing a return online, because we now have the ability for taxpayers to actually go on our portal and file an electronic return. Whatever means they're utilizing, if they're still doing the physical return or they're filing online, we need to know what you did for the entire year. So if you have worked less than 48 weeks, then you need to do some kind of note or certification at the back of the return if you're doing it manually. If you're filing a return online, then you will need to do a letter and submit that as a supporting document along with your return.
So you can submit supporting documents with the online process?
Yes, you can submit the supporting document. So you would then see what you did for the remainder of that year. If you are unemployed, whatever you did, you need to make provide us with that information when you're filing.
Are you required to file your tax return if you fill it out and it balances out perfectly?
The law does not forces you to. So if you do not have to claim a refund, if you did not owe, and like you mentioned, your employer deducted everything, and at the end you have maybe 4 cents owing or you have nil, the law does not mandate that you file the return. What happened is previously we were receiving returns manually, and so we did not enforce that persons file the return. Whilst the law do not require that you file a return, we are moving to electronic filing, so it will be good if persons now start to file a return every year. It would be a good thing because it shows that you have a good filing history. You file a return every year. So that is something that we want to encourage now moving forward, where we are now accepting, or we are using a portal now to receive these returns.
And the danger is, if your calculations are just a slight little bit off, you may actually owe and accrue more penalty charges.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
So that is a good thing when you do come in and file. It gives you that opportunity then, if you've made any errors, to get those errors corrected.
Now, I remember when you started asking for banking information, people got a bit nervous about that. Are we still seeing that issue?
No. Actually, the banking information is basically for us to pay out refunds. This is something that is required through the Smart Stream system, and we need a banking account so that we can deposit that money directly, because we don't issue checks, which was something they did in the past. So, no, we don't. But however, we ask, if you're going to receive a refund this year, to fill out the vendor form so that we can have an updated vendor form, because what we also find that the previous account that they might have submitted years before is not active anymore. And once we make that payment through the Smart Stream system, it can be rejected, and then the refund get hold up. So we will have to then request over for them to provide that vendor form for us to resubmit and pay out that refund. So we still ask, and we don't get much resistance when it comes to that.
Now, ladies, let me ask you the question that I know quite a few people at home. So, we know that the tax department is very diligent in collecting and accruing penalty charges, but the returns take very long. I think the returns for the last year are still outstanding for some people. What's the issue, and when can people expect a payment?
Okay, so there are a number of reasons why a refund may not be processed as it should. There is that process where it requires a reconciliation, where we look at what was submitted during the year and what we actually have held at the office and match that. After that process, then the processing of the returns actually takes place. We've done a lot of adjustments, because what we have done over the years is to look at the areas where we have faltered, where we have not provided the refund timely, and ways on how we can make improvement. So I've mentioned briefly the system that we now have. We have a portal where persons will be filing their return. That not only we don't only have the opportunity to file a return, but we have started it from the perspective of the employer, where if you are the employer and you submit the information, we now require the information from you monthly, so that by the time the year ends, that reconciliation is happening in the background, and it does not, the reconciliation process does not take long. So if there are errors along the way, we can catch that, get that monthly instead of waiting until the end. So those are some of the adjustments we are making. However, we want to mention this process actually started last year, October, where employers were to submit the information for their employees monthly. So you won't see the true benefit of this system from that perspective until next year, when you're filing for this current year. Because from January of this year right up until December, employers are required to submit the information monthly on behalf of their employees.
And what's the average time that one should expect to wait to be able to get their return?
Within 2 months, and a return should be provided to an employee, providing there were no issues. And so these are the things that we are trying to do. We are trying to work along with employers to get this, fixed, so that we can provide the returns. Because like you clearly said, it should not be a thing that the tax department issues you a bill as soon as you owe, but then we don't provide you that refund timely. It should be within the same time. If I'm able to give you a bill, within this time period, then we want to get to that point where within that same time period, if we owe you, then we should be able to provide that refund to you.
So for people who perhaps are still waiting on a return, what's your advice to them as to how to go about to find out what the delay is?
Persons can get in touch with our office, because One of the things also that I did not mention, there are instances where employers submit information for their employees. They may have a number of employees, but some of those employees no longer work with them. Many times they don't provide all the information, like we don't have social security information, and they are not able to provide us with it because that employee no longer works there. So we say, if you have outstanding refunds, you can contact us. We will get your information and ensure that we work on those. Because there are some issues that maybe the employer may be unable to assist us with because they no longer have contact with some of their employees.
All right, other information. So a few things. One, you can apply for the portal. So you have to set up your system first, and then you can do your online submission.
Yes.
And then the other option is to do the regular manual approach of writing it out. And you can also use the electronic fillable form online, print that out and take that in.
Yes. And as well, we still, like Miss Michelle and her staff, they still provide the in-office service to persons who they're still not quite, feel comfortable enough to do this. They can still do this, right, Miss Michelle?
Correct. What I want to do at this point is to encourage them to get registered for the Iris Belize portal and file online. And for those who already have access to that portal, if you see that you don't have your tax account link, contact the office, have us link that account. Just send an email. You can send an email to the department to onlineaccounts_bz.com, and you can just state, like Miss Marlene said, she already have her account set up. Just state, can you kindly link me to my tax account? You provide a copy of your social, and we automatically link that for you. Because for the person, individual, we don't require that you send an authorization letter, unlike the business entity, which has to send an authorization letting us know who they're authorizing to use their account. So in your instance, it's just send that social and we'll link it for you. We'll have someone contact you, verify that you're the person, and link your account. For those who already have the portal, I know there's one little thing that they're having an issue with, which I would like to mention, is that at a point they ask you to put in your employer's TIN. Most persons are putting in their personal tax number, and it should be that of their employer. The reason being is because that employer TIN in our system will link them to the emoluments that were submitted on their behalf. So we need them at that point to put the employer TIN. It states employer TIN, but because the TD4 actual has on your personal TIN,
that's all
they're utilizing that.
Okay.
So with that,
so you have to go back and ask your accounts or HR for that information.
And the portal is similar to the actual manual form. It automatically calculates for you. So you don't have to go with a calculator figuring out what I will pay. You just put in your emoluments, put in your tax withheld. If you have the donations, you place that in there as well, and it will automatically calculate, and you will see whether you will have a balance owing or refund due.
Good. All right. Any other advice for people who are about to do the last minute process of getting it in?
So we ask persons to visit the website, visit our website. By utilizing the website, the guide that you referred to earlier, Marlene, is still there. This guide is on the website. So there's a guide online. So there is a lot of information out there that can help you. We no longer have to find the process be, intimidating with the assistance that we're trying to provide to the taxpayers.
All right. Well, ladies, thank you for coming in. We do hope that we've spared a few people those common mistakes that you see. And opening hours, if people are going to drop it off in location?
8 to 4. We open during lunch, so they can also come in during lunch.
All right.
And on Fridays, it's 8 to 3:30.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you for having us.
All right. We're going to go ahead and take a break. And when we come back, Gavin?
We're going to be talking about some trending social media topics. So please stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Hola usuario de eCash, la aplicación eCash está disponible en español. Cambiar el idioma en tu aplicación de eCash de inglés a español es rápido y sencillo. Déjame mostrarte cómo se hace. Primero, abre tu aplicación eCash. Introduce tu PIN. Toca el icono More en la parte inferior de tu pantalla. Selecciona Security. Selecciona Language. Y luego selecciona Spanish. Vuelve a introducir tu PIN y ya está. Tu aplicación de eCash está ahora en español y puedes seguir disfrutando de tu cartera digital eCash. La aplicación eCash de Belize Bank te hace la vida más fácil.
Messi! Off goal! What a goal from Leo Messi! What an incredible strike from Leo Messi! Neymar and Messi is standing over this. Messi! Off goal! What a goal from Leo
Great entertainment stays with you, and we bring you great entertainment. Next Gen, the ultimate digital experience.
Download the SmartStream app on the Android Play Store and create your account to get access to movies and stream at home or on the go. Prepaid customers can purchase regular data packages or get a discounted rate on a special SmartStream package by dialing 7737. Postpaid customers will be billed monthly. Never miss a movie again with SmartStream.
If you're looking for low-cost television advertising, have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you save valuable time and money. Call us today at 223-0146 or visit us at our offices on Pony Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672-5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 Belize teams do whatever it takes, go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 Belize on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, because news is now everywhere, all the time, and so are we.
And we're back. And if you're joining us right now, we are almost through with our show. But before we wrap up, it is Tuesday, so I am bringing you Trending Talks Tuesdays, and that is when I break down some of the most popular social media topics that have been trending over the past few weeks. And so we can just jump right into it. This week has honestly been a bit of a mess. And so that's going to be a lot of what we are going to be talking about. And if you have been anywhere near a TV or a computer over the last 2 days, you probably know what the first thing I'm going to talk about is, and that is the infamous incident at the Oscars on Sunday. And yep, we're seeing it replay right now. And of course, the Oscars were held this past Sunday in LA, and everybody is talking about the moment where in response to a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith walked up on stage and slapped Chris Rock right across his face. Now this moment has been replayed over and over and over again, and people have been talking about it non-stop. There were questions about whether it was fake. People really confused initially after it just happened, because not only did he slap Chris Rock, he also started to curse at him afterwards, to saying to keep Jada's name out of his mouth, to paraphrase, because I can't say the actual quote. But of course, it has sparked a whole lot of discussions, and everybody has been talking about it across all social media platforms. And with that also comes lots of memes. Now, of course, it is a somewhat serious situation, of course, because there was a physical altercation. But in spite of that, there have been lots of memes. So we see one that was made. So we see one just made right now with these pranksters telling him to go and slap Chris Rock. There's another one. Yeah, this one is one of my favorite ones, which I saw on Twitter. If you guys can decipher that, I think present that we will rock you. People using all the different images to make the sound. And this was one of my favorites, of course, and one that I saw lots that say that we finally have a replacement or a real life for that Batman meme with the slap across the face, because it was pretty much the same thing. And then, of course, the famous Chris Rock TV show Everybody Hates Chris, talking about when Will Smith went and hit him. Now, of course, the other thing about that was that Lupita Nyong'o was seated at Will Smith's table, and another secondary meme which came out of thing was her reaction, because of course she was right behind Will Smith when he was cursing and starting off, and her awkward sort of reaction, not knowing what to do, has also become a meme in and of itself. And this one is funny because it's saying that y'all are doing this in front of Beyonce. A lot of people are talking about that as well, because Beyonce and Jay-Z showed up. They don't often go to awards shows, but when they do, it seems like a lot of excitement does happen. Of course, Will Smith did issue a full apology yesterday. He posted it, and he did apologize to the Academy, to Chris Rock. Of course, this is a bit of a strange moment, because this has been overwhelmingly the most talked about thing. But we do want to mention that Will Smith did win an Oscar that night for Best Actor for his portrayal of the father of the Williams sisters, for his role in King William. So it's a bit unfortunate that that moment was a bit overshadowed. But of course, with such an infamous moment, with such an infamous action, who could, we knew this was going to happen. And in our own neck of the woods, we had a bit of a confrontation that went viral last week as well. Now, again, if you've been anywhere near Facebook over the past week, you probably know what I'm talking about. There was an altercation last week that was captured on video, and it has since gone viral. Of course, we don't want to make light of another, situation of, a physical altercation, and there is, of course, an ongoing investigation. But with that said, it was a viral moment, so that meant a lot of memes. We saw that incident over the bar where these ladies were involved in an altercation, and one of them, being a bartender, ended up resorting to using a bottle of land shark to defend herself. And since that happened, it's gone with lots of memes, and we see even businesses talking about using that incident for a promotion, as we see right here with this Facebook post. And of course, the infamous phrase which came out from that video about, I don't mean to disrespect you, but that's one that's gone viral, so we see them using it here. Somebody has also made a Will Smith meme out of the infamous land shark bottle as well. So I saw that and had a little bit of a laugh. And then there was a video. The people have been making TikToks of trending. This one was one. This is just a screenshot of a TikTok talking about how land shark has gone viral, and people always call it. And this one is another one, Whoop It Pint. So of course, not necessarily a funny situation, but of course, people have made jokes out of the viral moment, and of course, we will see how that goes and see if if that becomes another thing. Now, to move away from some of the messier topics, our final topic is going to be a positive. We're going to end on a positive note. And we did mention in the show, in the beginning of the show, that our own Destiny Arnold, who is the reigning Miss Earth and the Miss Earth Belize, has made it to the front cover of fashion magazine Harper's Bazaar, and this is the Vietnam issue. And this is, of course, a significant moment because it's a huge international publication. Harper's Bazaar is right up there with Vogue and some of the others, of the other fashion magazines, and to see a Belizean featuring front and center is absolutely wonderful. So here are some of the pictures from the shoot. So this is the cover. There's another alternative cover where Destiny is posing with some of the some other models, and there's a shot from inside, and we see that's a part of the photo shoot that she did, which is inside of the magazine. Of course, huge international step, and it's of course increasing visibility for Belize, so it's a great thing. I also mentioned earlier in the show that last week I did speak about another famous Belizean making waves in the fashion world, and I mentioned Joyja at Rihanna's Fenty event. We want to say a big congratulations to Destiny for this huge achievement. We're proud of her, and of course she looks beautiful, but that goes without saying, being the winner of a global pageant. But it was a great moment to see, and I'm sure that all of us are very, very proud of Destiny. But that was... Yeah,
and I love her photo. She's like a Rasta girl from PG on the cover of Harper Bazaar. Fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Did love that.
Yeah.
So those are just some of the trending topics this week. But before we...
Can I just say, though, the Will Smith thing, this morning there was an article out saying, where's Chris Rock? And that's what I've been thinking the entire time. Like, what has he said?
Yeah. We haven't been hearing much from Chris.
Yeah. All right. But of course, I guess he's maybe processing or writing the next joke that he'll do. But that was just, I think, people are still talking about that. I'm just trying to comprehend what's happening. All right, but we do have to say we have our winners once again for the Smart giveaway. Of course, remember, Smart was here talking about their 17th anniversary. And we had Yolanda Kawa, who won a phone. We had Eligio Garajales, who won a $50 gift certificate, and Christy Powell and Loida Johnson won the final two prizes. So what you're going to do is you're going to have to go to the Smart Belize office. We're going to give them your name, and they're going to you can pick up your prizes there, right? And we are grateful to you to participate and to our guests for today.
Yes, absolutely. So we want to say thank you to everybody who showed up. Of course, our first segment was with the Leader of the Opposition and now Leader of the United Democratic Party, Honorable Shyne Barrow, coming in to give his breakdown of the recent election as well as a bit of his vision for the future.
Yeah, definitely. And answering the tough questions. He always comes to the media and he always takes the opportunity to give his response. And I'm sure we're going to see more of him as we move forward. And we want to thank the representatives from SMART as well.
Yes, they're celebrating their 17th anniversary once again. And we heard from the CEO himself, as well as Adelaide Sabido, who is on their marketing team, talking about the journey that they've been through. And of course, a lot of the exciting promotions that you can look forward to for the month of March. And that is SMART once again celebrating 17 years in Belize.
All right, and the tax service for coming in. March 31st is the deadline to get those tax return forms in. You can do it online and you can still drop it off in person, but you have to get it in by that date. And especially if you owe, there's a penalty charge at a cruise after that. So please do make sure you get it in time.
Absolutely.
All right, but that's all the time we have for today. If you would like to contact us, send us an email at oye@channel5belize.com.
You can find us on Facebook at Open Your Eyes BZ and Instagram at OIE Belize.
And remember to tune in tomorrow morning at 6:30 when you open your eyes.
Start your morning right.
Until then, keep your eyes, your mind,
and your heart open.
We'll see you soon. Enjoy your day, Belize.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.